Good evening and welcome to the Pits and Analysis Show for week 13 of the 2024 college football season. From yours truly, Jackson Johnson, and I got my partner in crime, Austin Williams from Sports Talk with Austin, as we'll be going over our takes on what is going on in week 13 of the 2024 college football season. And of course, we are going over games besides Indiana, Ohio State, of course, but I kid. We're going to be very excited to cover the Indiana Ohio State game for sure, especially since it's on bid and kickoff. And I'll tell you something, it's going to be a wild ride. How you doing tonight, good buddy?
Oh, pretty good, Jackson. It's hard to believe, but next week's rivalry week. I mean, it just seems like this season's flown by. I mean, it just feels like yesterday we were watching Georgia Clemson open up the season. But I'm excited. I'm a little upset that we got another cupcake week, but who am I kidding? I'll watch it anyway.
Well, we are sickos, so I mean, there we go. And Dot P
Yes.
said solid Ola. I'm guessing he's mixing.
Is that
I'll
Samoan?
figure that out tonight. And we got our buddy Hummus Hero giving out a hey Jackson Austin. Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening to you too, Hummus Hero. Thank you for tuning in to tonight's edition of the Pits and Analysis Show. And Dave Valinsky says, congratulations to the Chippewa beating Western Michigan. My 16-14. My parents, my uncle, aunt, and cousin are very happy today. Fire up Chips, especially since Jim McElwain has announced his retirement from coaching in all of college football. And Clint Most says, read it backwards, LOL.
Oh, it's hello, fellas. Okay. Learn something new. Okay.
Yep. It's kind of like Wally Cody where he's like, how do you do? My name is Mud. And Bud's Bunny goes, and remember, Mud spelled backwards is dumb.
Yes. I'll tell you what is not, Jackson. You know, we got a little ACC action tomorrow night.
ACC.
I mean,
ACC.
So if you get tired of Amazon Prime and their football game, tune on over to Thursday Night Football, NC State at Georgia Tech. That'll be a much more entertaining game.
Oh, you don't want to see the Browns get beaten up again on Amazon Prime?
Not really. I mean, that's kind of a waste of money when I can watch this for free.
Well, to be fair, I don't think Al Michaels likes calling that game either, where he's just sitting there going, and it's caught, touchdown. I went from Miracle on Ice to this.
Oh my gosh, and Kurt Herbstreit's like, at least I've got College Game Day and ESPN. Sorry, Al.
Shoot, he's getting his Amazon money and his ESPN money. He's oh yeah, he'll be fine. But we know somebody who's not fine. North Carolina State. They have been hemorrhaged by injuries all season. And, you know, Georgia Tech, they've been pretty good. They've been showing everybody they're heading in the right direction for the future. Question is, will this game result in a win for the Yellow Jackets, or is North Carolina State going to catch them thinking a little too much about the Georgia Bulldogs?
I'll say this, Jackson. You know, at the beginning of the year, if you would have told me this would have been a game that, you know, where NC State would come in at 5-5, I would have said, get out of here. NC State's going to be like 7-3, 8-3, something like that. 7-3. Because I thought NC State would be a good football team. I know they lost a lot of players last year, but man, Jackson, I know sometimes the injury bug catches up to teams. NC State's been that team this year that the injury bug is caught. I mean, I can give Dave Doring some credit. For them to be 500 and a chance to still go bowling, he deserves a lot of credit for that. And for Georgia Tech, real fast. I mean, what magic had like Jackson? You talked about it at the beginning of the year. You expected Brent Key to bring some magic to the Yellow Jackets.
Mm-hmm.
And they beat Miami. Something that because Miami was pulling out games out their yin yang. Like they were winning every game under the sun. Brent Key and the Yellow Jackets were able to get it done. And good buddy, you were right on the money about saying Brent Key is the man to lead Georgia Tech to an ACC title. Not this year, but I could see it happening soon.
Yeah, it'll be huge. I mean, I know he's nowhere near like Bobby Dodd yet, or he's nowhere near like Paul Johnson yet, but he's going to get him to a level where those guys had Georgia Tech.
Mm-hmm. But as much as we love gushing over it, is NC State going to catch him napping like you said? I'll let you pick first, good buddy.
No. Not happening.
You don't think so?
No. Georgia Tech's going to win it. 31-20.
That's a good pick. I'll go Georgia Tech too. They're at home. It's going to be a night game. I think it should play in their favor. I'll go 27-13 Yellow Jackets.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, you're all right. He is getting up there in age, but I mean, every time I think of Al Michaels, I'm always thinking about those calls they made with John Madden on Super Bowl Sunday, Madden's last call, the Steelers Cardinals, or I'm thinking about Monday Night Football from 2002 to 2005, especially Brett Favre when he was beating up the Raiders. It was, I believe, the day after his father passed away, where he was originally like, I'm not going to play. But then he was like, you know what? I'm going to play. Then there's the 1980 Olympics. You're right, Dot P. Miracle on Ice, USA and Russia, where USA pulls off the upset in hockey. And there's a few college games I can bring up, like 1984 Iron Bowl. He called that game. And there's the 1981 Alabama Penn State game where Bear Bryant tied Amos Alonzo Stad's wins record with win number 314, where Alabama beat the Penn State Nittany Lions in Happy Valley in 1981. And it was like history kind of repeated itself with a goal line instead, but this time it was like a 7 and out instead of a 4 and out, or basically, it was. But I'm not going to get overboard with the nostalgia of Al Michaels.
I'll say this, Jackson. Those are all fantastic games. I wish we could have some of those games. I'd rather watch those than watch our Friday slate, because good gosh. Our Friday slate, no offense, but it's a dung.
And now Michaels is calling those games. He's going to have a friggin' stroke. Like, oh my God. That's pitiful. Pitiful, pitiful, pitiful.
Yes. And for those of you, Purdue at Michigan State. This is what Fox has chosen. This is what Fox has chosen for us to watch on our Friday night.
Business Network. Don't put that on the Fox Network.
Jackson, they're like, it's week 4 rivalry week here. Take Purdue, Michigan State. Shoot.
Yuck.
And Doc P says UNLV San Jose State will be a good watch. We'll get to that in just a second. But Troy Vick says, I've always liked Al Michaels. I'm like you, Troy V. I grew up on Al Michaels. Him and Chris Collinsworth were the announcers of my childhood. So I always have fond memories of him. Him and Dickie V from college basketball. I grew up on them. But yeah, I know we're getting nostalgia, but
one of these days we're going to do like a live stream or a video of where we go over Al Michaels' most famous calls.
Yeah, that'd probably be better than Purdue, Michigan State on Friday night. Good, probably get more views too. But yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I'll take Michigan State. Purdue's pretty bad, and Michigan State's still playing for a bowl. I'll pick 28-24 Michigan State.
I'm going to go Michigan State 24-10.
Okay. Now, UNLV at San Jose State. Does Barry Odom keep his dream of a Mountain West title alive on Friday night?
Yes.
So you're picking UNLV on the road. Interesting.
I believe in miracles. Especially in Vegas, especially if they're made in Vegas. And I think Vegas can get the job done against San Jose State 28-17.
I'll go UNLV 31-21.
Of course, I know I know that he didn't mean it by that. He meant the Al Michaels call. You believe miracles? Yes, unbelievable. Speaking of miracles,
Clint Moses going.
Oh, go
Real
ahead.
quick, Clint Moses is getting a little spicy on us here tonight, Jackson. He's picking Purdue to win by double digits.
Well, that would be a miracle.
Yes. That would be a miracle, yes, but go ahead. Introduce the next game, good buddy.
Well, here's what would be a miracle. The Indiana Hoosiers ending a long, long losing streak to the Ohio State, which dates back to 1991 on Big Noon Kickoff in Columbus, Ohio. Now, I don't think that would happen, but, Mark Rogers and friends have been talking about how, if Indiana was to lose to Ohio State, do they get punished for it? Do they get knocked out of the top 10 for it? Do they get knocked out of top 5? How far do they drop if they were to lose to Ohio State? And, you and I have went into depth about this, Austin, quite a few times, where we both think it could be like 2022 TCU, where TCU, if they won the Big 12, they're in. If they lose the Big 12 title, no problem. All they have to do is lose by a small margin. They're good to go. Or if the game goes to overtime, they're good to go. I think that it would be a much similar scenario, which, I mean, I get Indiana's not having an impressive set of wins, but neither have a few other teams.
I want to say this, and I want to bring this up. I don't know if anyone watched it or anyone saw, but on the college football playoff ranking reveal show this past Tuesday, which would have been last night, Joey Galloway suggested that Curtis Wark sit this game out, because they don't want a Jordan Travis Florida State all over again. And here's the thing. I've got no problem with that statement. We're all entitled to our opinions. I believe that. We're all entitled to our opinions, right, wrong, or indifferent. But like I told Jackson when that statement came up, I told him that this is going to be the biggest game Curtis Wark's ever going to play in his college career. Win, lose, or draw, this is going to be the biggest game he's ever going to play, more than likely. And the thing about it, too, is, and I told Jackson this, if he beats Ohio State, he's immortalized in Indiana history forever. No matter what his NFL career turns out to be, CFL, no matter what he does in life, we'll always remember Curtis Wark and this Indiana team for beating Ohio State. Whether they win the Big Ten or not, doesn't matter. Because Indiana will remember they beat Ohio State for the first time in nearly 40 years. So, I'm of the belief, play it out, kid. Sling it. Go for it, good buddy. I know you got some thoughts.
Well, I remember going to the movies 11 years ago, and I saw Monsters University, and there's like this scene where like the guy tells Mike Wazowski, when we beat you, nobody's gonna remember you. And then Mike says right back to him, yeah, but when we win, no one will let you forget it. That's the line that I'm thinking of right there. If Ohio State beats Indiana, not a lot of people will be remembering 2024 Indiana. But if Indiana can pull off the monumental, impossible victory over Ohio State on Saturday in Columbus, Ohio, nobody will let Ohio State forget it for years and years to come.
I agree. It's one of them things, Jackson. Like you said,
Thank you.
I kind of look at this, Jackson, like, well, like I agree with you. That's a great analogy, and I've heard the saying going around all week. Who has Indiana played? Who have they beat? Why should we even consider them? And that's a fair point. They're all valid. But like I've told everyone from day one, you beat Ohio State, there is no more worries. Like you've even told me, Jackson, they beat Ohio State. The committee has no reason not to put them in, even if they do lose in the Big Ten title game. And it's just like, and I know Ohio State fans think this is blasphemy that we're giving Indiana a legit chance to win this, but that's how good they are this year. Now, do we think it'll be this kind of game every year? Probably not. Like Ohio State, most years will probably drag them through the mud and then get it over with quietly. But this is Indiana's best chance if they're going to win, in my opinion. This is it. You don't beat them now, you may never beat them.
That is a good question. It's gonna be it would be a dogfight between Oregon and Indiana.
Yeah, you would have an argument. And Hummus says, I doubt it's a blowout.
Number one for now, but yeah, Hummus says, I doubt it's a blowout. Indiana just needs to keep it within 2 scores, and they probably get it. Agreed.
And, before we make a pick on this real fast, all I've heard, Jackson, and from a lot of Ohio State fans, especially some we know, not the ones in the chat, but like people are upset that Indiana was scheduled the week before Michigan. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. How's the Big Ten supposed to know Indiana was going to be this good? Because normally they try to schedule you not a cupcake per se, but a team that they know, okay, you'll probably beat up on them just to keep you in the mindset of for the big game, for the game next weekend. Like, how are we supposed to know any of these teams? For all we could have known Indiana could be 3 wins like they normally are, but instead they're undefeated. Like, you never know. So the Big Ten just schedules games that they think would be considered a weaker opponent. And Ohio State fans are like, this isn't right. Michigan gets to play Northwestern. Well, guess what? Northwestern and Michigan are kind of on the same level this year. That's why that game I could be, which we'll get to that in a minute, but like the Big Ten tries to schedule the best way they can.
Yeah, I don't really think a lot of people planned on Ohio State, Indiana being the marquee matchup the week before rivalry. I mean, nobody did. They're like,
and Hummus says the Big definitely had no clue. It would have been a matchup game. They wouldn't have given Indiana a bye before the game either. Yeah, that's true. That is true. But Jackson, now that we broke this down in almost detail, and the time is finally here, is it upset season? Is it going to happen? Is Indiana going to take the Buckeyes down on Saturday afternoon with the whole world watching.
If Indiana beats Ohio State, it'll be the first time since 1988 that it's happened. Not only that, but it'll be the first time since 1990 that this game does not result in an Ohio State victory if this were to happen. Do I think Indiana wins? No. I think Ohio State wins 28-17. I feel like this game's going to be really close.
You know what, Jackson? Call me nuts.
Sorry.
But I feel the magic. I feel magic in the air. The Cinderella ride at TCU from 2022, it's giving me that vibe. But unfortunately, Jackson, there's not going to be enough magic to save the 2024 edition of Indiana, unfortunately. But I got to be more competitive than most. 24-16 Buckeyes.
Oh, wow. Our scores are a lot similar. Well, great minds think alike.
Yes. But, Jackson, is there any chance Wake Forest pulls off an upset? Probably not.
No.
The question is, does Miami cover the spread?
I hope for
That's
their
a serious
sake
question.
yes. They better be.
That's my serious question. Will Miami cover the spread, or will they win another tight one against? Oh, geez.
I'm gonna go Miami 35-24 over Wake Forest.
Miami, if you don't beat Wake in convincing fashion, oh gosh,
you're not a playoff team if you're having a tight game with Wake Forest.
I'll go Miami 42-17.
Oh man, I had like a discussion a few months back with a Miami post game host where I was like, look, you can't be losing that one game you shouldn't every season and expect everybody to cut you slack. And he's just like, well, every team does that. That doesn't mean you should. It's like making a mess and just saying, well, everybody makes a mess. Or lying about something and then just combating that with everyone lies. That's just how it is. Can't do that. Can't do that.
Yeah. I tell you what, though, Jackson. Oops, wrong button. There we go. Oh, Jackson, there is a better noon game. Is Ole Miss going to have a hangover after beating Georgia? Because Lane Kiffin has been known to have hangovers after a big win. And Florida is peaking at the right time. And it's in the swamp. Is this the game that Florida upsets someone and spoils Ole Miss's season?
No.
No? Okay. So I take it you're taking Ole Miss.
Going with the Rebels, 38-24.
Do I trust Lane Kiffin not to blow this? That's my issue. Like I said, he's been known to do this after a big win. Oh, it's so tempting. It's so tempting to pick Florida at home, but it's not a night game. Give me Ole Miss to win a tight one, 27-21.
I mean, they beat a bunch of bums at LSU. So, I mean, it's not really anything to brag about.
That's true. Well, Jackson, here's a better one for you. SMU, Virginia. Does Virginia cover the spread?
No. SMU is going to beat the living daylights out of Virginia in the second half, and it's going to be a 42-24 victory as SMU clinches the first spot in the ACC title game in their first season. And it was funny though. We talk about teams that are getting really screwed over, raked over the coals. SMU is a team that's definitely getting raked over the coals by the committee. Like, good God. I mean, it's like, did these people that create these rankings even watch SMU BYU on September 6th of 2024? I did. You did, Austin. A lot of you in the chat did. They're out wasting their time. That some of these committee members probably out wasting their time getting some poontang or something like that. Like, there's more important things than poontang, and that's watching every game of college football. If you are a committee member,
yes, it is your job to evaluate these teams on a fair, unbiased basis. And I'm with you, Jack. Oh, go ahead.
And I'll be honest with you. I think SMU is basically just going to have to keep winning, win the ACC title just to basically say, hey, we're in. They can't really rely on, lose convincingly against Miami in the ACC title game or Clemson in the ACC title game. They can't do that. They cannot do that. They have to keep winning and winning, which I believe they can. But unfortunately, they're not like a big brand like Miami and Clemson. Yes, they were a big brand in the 1930s, and they were a great team to watch in the 80s. And, people love being nostalgic of the good old days. But SMU can't rely on the nostalgia of the 80s. They certainly can't rely on people to remember the magic that they made in the 1935 season. And I mean, they're not a blue blood, so they can't really rely on blue blood stats to bail them out like Clemson can or Miami can. So if Miami was to, win out, then lose the ACC title game, I think they would get in because of people being so nostalgic for the 80s. I think if Clemson wins out, I think they would get in either as an ACC champ if luck was to come their way, or they could get in at an at-large bid possibly because of the fact a lot of people think about what they've been doing under Dabo Swinney, and I think they can rely on past history. Which do I think teams should be being ruled based off of past history? No. It should be ruled based off of the current season, no matter what team it is. I don't think you should be ruled based off of what you've done the last 10 years, 15, 20, 40, 100 years. No. But there are plenty of teams that can be ruled that get saved by, this is the magic you made 100 years ago. Bam.
Yes.
Go ahead with your pick on this in Virginia.
I'll say it'll be a close first half because Virginia at home, they play good in front of the Cavaliers crowd. But I think, like you said, SMU will pull away late. 38-24 Ponies. SMU wins.
That's funny. Well,
here we go, Jackson.
The cap is kind of like crack to us. I mean,
the battle of mid in the Big Ten.
Oh man. Well, I mean, our buddies Sonny Verma and Adam Lamparello, they are humongous troopers for watching this game. I mean, especially since you might want to check out our buddy Sonny on Locked On Illini Cast and the Big Ten Show, and our buddy Adam Lamparello on Rutgers at the Voice of College Football. This is going to be a good one, but is it good enough to keep your eyes off of Ohio State, Indiana just a little bit?
No. Like Jackson, of course, we'll flip the channel because we're sickos. We'll have the Peacock app up and running, but most people will have their eyes glued to Indiana, Ohio State that day.
Or Ole Miss, Florida, for that matter.
Yes. It doesn't get more Peacock than Illinois versus Rutgers. True. Only Peacock would pick this game instead of Iowa, Maryland. That's how bad this is.
Oh wow, that's gonna be awesome, man! You're gonna be at the Rutgers Illinois game, Jason. Oh, nice.
Nice. I'll say this, Jackson, for this game. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, get some pictures there, man. Let us know what it's like.
Yeah, it'd be kind of interesting. I've always wanted to see Rutgers Stadium up close and personal. I'll say this, Jackson. Rutgers is another team that's been hit with the injury bug bad. And it's cost them a lot of their season this year, too. But the last couple games, they've been able to find their way back, kind of getting everyone integrated back in the rotation. A lot of people thought Illinois was legit in the Big Ten, and then they got exposed by Oregon. And now everyone's off to Brent Bielema bandwagon, and everyone's back to pitchforks saying he needs to get fired. It never ends, does it, Jackson, with these people with pitchforks and wanting to fire coaches?
It's not really most people. It's just the crazies that are like spilling cheese sauce all over themselves.
Well, I tell you what, though, Jackson. Rutgers is at home. I think they got the momentum. I'll go Rutgers at home. 26-23.
I think Illinois is going to win this one 24-21.
So we split. Interesting.
Iowa, Maryland. I mean, Iowa's been having a mid-season. They're just like, let's call it a day, get it over with, prepare for Nebraska.
Yeah. And Jackson, this is the game. If you're gonna watch it, and you're like, if you're a fan of bad, this game might give you a headache. So I would advise not to watch this game. I mean, you might end up with a headache by the time it's done. This is going to be ugly because you've got Iowa, who's Iowa, and then you got Maryland. I mean, Jackson, I know Mike Locksley's probably safe for another year, but oh my gosh, Maryland's a dung heap.
It's a disaster. I mean, Maryland. Oh man, it's like, I think you and I have had like these conversations quite a lot about Mike Locksley's seat status. I know I talked with our buddy Sean Garner about it, where it's just, I feel like Mike Locksley has been bailed out by the fact that he's been associated with Nick Saban. If it weren't for the fact that he was associated with Nick Saban, he'd be thrown out of his keister.
Yes. And I think that USC win really saved his tail too. And it was able to be like, woohoo! Mike Locksley, you won an important game. You beat a down USC. Unfortunately, Jackson, I think I was going to win this game, but it's going to be an ugly win. I'm going to go 13-10 Iowa. Wins an ugly game on the Big Ten Network.
Well, I mean, I have been saying every single week where, I mean, you can't be getting blasted by Northwestern and expect everybody to cut you slack. I mean, I do. Yeah, I mean, you're right. He's not getting fired after this year, but 2025, that could be a whole different ball game right there.
So who are you picking, though, good buddy? Are you riding with me, or are you going to pick the upset? I guess if you call it an upset.
Iowa's going to win this one 24-10. But here's my
That's a good pick.
question. Yeah, you got a great recruiting class coming in, but are you going to be having 9-win seasons, 10-win seasons with those teams? I'm not expecting that every season at Maryland. I just want to see like a 9-win season every now and again. I think honestly, they're gonna have to really think about the future. Like, do they want to be that team that's just happy with making a bowl game every season and getting the win in the bowl game? Or do they want something more?
And 1-2 says the game itself is an upset. Jackson, that tells you what he thinks of that. But maybe there's a better one that we can watch to keep ourselves occupied while Indiana, Ohio State's having a commercial. UConn, Syracuse, the Big East showdown. What do we think of that?
I think Syracuse is going to win that one 28-17.
I'll go Syracuse at home 35-24.
Yeah, I mean, you're all right. You're right, Dave Valinsky. But they do
All right,
have
Jackson, here. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. Dave Valinsky is right, but we got the CW game after the latest Gilmore Girls rerun.
Oh, Lord. Well, Jackson, this is what the CW decided. They were like, what should we put on this week? North Carolina, Boston College. Here. Shoot.
There you go.
Keep the CW people will be happy with this. The network executives will think they're getting a nice steak dinner. Now, shoot.
I think
I'll let you pick first.
I think Boston College wins a tight one, 21-20.
Even without Thomas Castellano.
North Carolina's been a hit or miss team this season.
Yeah, they're on a roll right now. They're 6-4. They're looking good. But like you said, I may regret this, but I'm going to ride the hot hand. I'm going UNC 31-28.
There we
I may
go.
regret that.
Oh, here we go. We got Sam's alma mater from Exploring with Ben and Sam, Sam Houston and Jacksonville State. I mean, that looks like a pretty good sneaky game right there. I mean, Rich Rod's making some magic at Jacksonville State, and Sam Houston's been making some magic in their second season in the Conference USA this season.
You know what? Just for Ben, I'll go Sam Houston 34-28.
Well, and from a mama's state, because this is our alma mater, Jacksonville State, I'm going to go with Jacksonville State 28-17.
Here we go, Jackson. This is what everyone came to see. Indiana, Ohio State go by the wayside. UMass, Georgia. That's the game of the week right there.
Georgia wins 59-10. Tennessee, UTEP. Tennessee wins 49-6. Now shoot, Tennessee, UTEP. Yeah, go away, Florida State, Charles Southern.
Oh gosh, yeah. For Jason O's sake, let's not talk about that.
Florida State suffered enough.
Yes,
but
let's
in Arizona. A battle for bowl eligibility for the Arizona Wildcats on ESPN Plus.
I'll say this, Jackson. This is a sneaky good Big 12 game. especially after what I saw from Arizona last Friday night. They looked pretty good. And now they could have been because Houston's offense is too. But TCU Jackson, they put a drubbing on Oklahoma State, which apparently this year, Jackson, everyone's drubbing the Pokes. So this is like Jekyll and Hyde and versus like Jekyll and Hyde. Both these teams have had their ups, their downs. Oh gosh.
Oh, Lord.
Give me TCU. Give me TCU. They're at home. They should win at home. 38-34 Horned Frogs in a shootout.
TCU will win this one 28-21 against Arizona.
Now shoot.
Yeah.
Now we know who we're picking. We're both picking Texas, but does Texas cover the spread?
That's the farthest that Kentucky has ever been in its school history. I kid you not.
Give me Texas 45-3.
Oh man, I can't wait to see what the call-in's gonna be on Saturday night on The Voice College Football. Where, oh man, I wonder what our friend Darrell is gonna say. I mean, that dude is hilarious. I mean, if you want to check out some hilarious callers on The Voice College Football, check Darrell. Like that dude says some hilarious stuff right there. I just wonder what he's gonna say next. It's like for me, the quote of the year was on New Year's Day this year, where he was just like, if Michigan had lost to Alabama, everybody would just look at him like TCU.
Oh gosh.
My God, he's so funny, man. That dude is hilarious, and that's a good question. One too. What is Texas' best win? I mean, you can't brag about beating Arkansas. It's not 1969. You didn't beat a Frank Broyles team. You're beating an Arkansas team fighting for bowl eligibility, and Michigan's not bowl eligible yet. So I guess
is it Vanderbilt? Is it Vandy? Is Vandy really their best win?
Yep.
Is that how far we've come?
Yep. I mean, they can't brag about beating Oklahoma. They knocked the piss out of them.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, what do you think, Jackson? Does Kentucky cover? No.
Oh my God. Oh my God. That's what's a big game on ABC Saturday afternoon. Jesus Christ. Oh my God.
Yeah, Jackson, this is what you're going to spend your Saturday afternoon watching.
Hell no. I'm not watching that piece of crap game.
Jackson, they're like, here, watch Mark Stoops versus Steve Sarkisian. Here, watch it. Poor Jackson. It's so bad that he just can't stop laughing.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm so sorry about that, Clint Moses. But I mean, at least Penn State, Minnesota's a better game than Kentucky Texas. So Texas, they are just gonna they're gonna tear up their claws, they're gonna tear up everything from Kentucky. They're gonna rip their fur out with a 45-14 win.
But Jackson, CBS is going to give us a better game, hopefully. Penn State at Minnesota. And PJ Fleck, Jackson, I know his boat's rolling fine right now, but just imagine how much bigger that boat's going to get if they upset Penn State and ruin their playoff dreams.
Oh, man. Well, I mean, the last time they did play in Minneapolis, it did result in a massive upset by Minnesota.
That is true. That is true. Now, let me ask you this, Jackson, before we make our pick. Do you think, Jackson, do you think Minnesota has a chance to win this game?
Yeah, it could happen. But do I think it happens? No.
I'm with you, no. Like, for me, Minnesota's quarterback play concerns me just a little bit. Like, if I knew they had a better quarterback play, I could maybe see an upset. But Penn State's rolling after losing to Ohio State, especially that Tyler Singleton guy, that dual threat tight end. He's a monster.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't think that's a rivalry. That's just it's just forced. Like Central Florida, UConn, when UConn was in the AAC at one point, and when Central Florida was in the AAC. But I think Penn
Dave
State.
says he says Max is doing well. What the heck are you talking about? I'm just saying when I've watched Minnesota, he's looked subpar. Now, maybe I need to watch a little more Minnesota, get more up to date. But when I've watched, and it's been mostly when Minnesota's lost, he's kind of looked up and down to me. That's just my opinion. I could be way off track. But
yeah,
Dave says he's worried about the running game.
and
But yeah.
And I think Penn State is going to win this one 35-17.
I'll go Penn State 29-27.
And Charles says Washington will defeat Oregon next week. Is that a Rick and Morty avatar? Because I gotta say, that is awesome. I love that show. Love the whirly dirly conspiracy. But
Jackson,
one two says Penn State only beat one team with a winning record. Ridiculous.
That's true. But Jackson, yes, let's talk about it. Maybe the second best game of the weekend right here. BYU and Arizona State. Who would have thunk it, Jackson, that Arizona State would be playing for the Big 12 championship berth?
Worst to first. These dreams could possibly happen for Arizona State. Oh my God, it's been impressive.
Yes. But here's the thing, Jackson. Is BYU, are they going to play angry this game coming off of a loss at home in front of their crowd after their night loss to Kansas? Are they going to come and play angry? Are they going to show the world that they're not a fluke, they're not a one-hit wonder, and they're going to play their best ball yet? Or just too much Cam Scatterboat? Or Scatterboat, is he too much for them to handle? Scatbo.
Yeah. 1-2 says BYU's going to destroy Arizona State. You heard it here first. Not so sure about that.
It's in the desert. It's in the desert.
Oh, yeah. And
Weird thing.
BYU's been in
Weird
a
things.
humongous amount of close games this season. I mean, they've had a lot of one possession wins. I mean, including their game against Utah, including against Oklahoma State and Baylor and SMU. So it's been quite a number of them.
Yes. And to be quite honest with you, Jackson, weird things happen in the desert.
Yep. Magic happens right there.
We all remember 2019, Oregon. All they had to do was win out, and they're in. But Jaden Daniels and Brandon Ayuk spoiled it all. And this Saturday could be the same thing.
Well, and 1-2 brings up a great point. BYU's resume is very strong. Well, unfortunately, I don't think BYU can rely on the committee to do the right thing, because from what it sounds like, the committee has not watched a lot of Big 12 After Dark, where BYU has been on there quite a few times this season. I mean, they can't really rely on. I mean, hell, they didn't even put Kansas State in the rankings, but they kept Missouri in the top 25. I mean, that's just dumb. But oh well, their rules.
Jackson, not to interrupt you, but Jackson, I just want to make this comparison, and people may think I'm nuts for saying this, but BYU is the Big 12's version of Miami. And why I say that is because both teams are pulling close games, winning close games out the yin yang. Mm-hmm. And both of them, it has finally caught up to them against a lesser opponent. And Clint Moses says BYU never looked like a top 10 team. You can make the case that Miami never did either, really. Like, what's Miami's most convincing win?
Florida, maybe.
Florida? I mean, BYU, what would we consider their most convincing win? They had one yet?
SMU.
Yeah?
Because, I mean, that's a win that's got better and better over time. Now, if BYU can win the Big 12, basically get in the title game, they're good to go. I mean, that is true. They did crush Kansas State. But I think BYU will definitely have to pull for SMU to win out. Because if they do that, that will really help their case. They'll be like, hey, here's the most underrated game in all of college football that a lot of you missed out on September 6th, 2024 on Friday night, where we didn't allow SMU to have a single touchdown. We beat their butts. What'd they do? They won the ACC. We good or what? We beat the ACC champ.
I agree. And 1-2 brings up a great point. BYU's defense is legit. Defense wins championships. That is the old saying. I mean, like you said, BYU crushed K-State. And Troy V says, don't worry, Austin. We thought you were nuts long before you said that. Well, I'm glad to see that I was already nuts. So call me psycho, man, I guess. BYU win has against team. Can't speak. Here we go. BYU has wins against multiple teams with winning records. That's true, Jackson.
Anything but Kentucky and Texas. That's my answer. Nothing against Texas or Kentucky, but that's just my answer. But my point, did we make a pick on BYU, Arizona State? I don't think we did.
Not yet. I'm going to bring this up real fast. He said, if you're a top 10, I expect you'd be great on both sides of the ball. BYU offense is lacking. That is true. But as for this game, though, back to BYU, Arizona State.
Oh,
The more I
like
think
this
about it,
one from Charles, where he says Arizona State versus Colorado, and I like what 1-2 saying, where he says that BYU Colorado would be the most entertaining. I like it.
Arizona State, Colorado, the old Pac-12 meeting for the Big 12. What irony that would be! But
they were two of the worst teams in the Pac-12 last year, who are now battling for first. That'd be humongous right there. I would get in line to watch that game.
But as for this game, though, because the winner of this game, if BYU wins, BYU, I think, more than likely will lock up a spot in the title game. But Arizona State wins, all heck's going to break loose. I'll let you go first, Jackson, since you love both these teams.
Honestly, I'm going to go with Arizona State. I think it's going to be a 35-24 victory over BYU.
Jackson, you stole it right from my mouth. Give me Arizona State for the upset. It's in the desert. It's gonna get freaky out there. Arizona State wins it 25-20.
Well, it actually wouldn't be an upset because it says Arizona State's a 3-point favorite.
Just ride with it, Jackson. Just ride with it. Ignore what Vegas says. Just ride with it. It's an upset.
Well, and then we got Colorado, my boys versus your boys, Austin, on Fox.
I know everyone's going to look at this and think Colorado. Don't sleep on Kansas. They're coming around. Jackson's preseason pick to win the whole thing is coming around. They're starting to play some good football.
Mm-hmm.
It took them long enough, but here they are.
Yep.
So Colorado, don't overlook them. Don't make the same mistake BYU did.
Ooh.
And it's in Lawrence. Oh, I smell upset. Oh, no.
But, yeah. It's in Arrowhead, actually, but it's still pretty good all the same.
Yeah, Arrowhead. I keep forgetting sometimes. Now, Jackson, how good is the fan base? Do they travel to Arrowhead good or no?
It's just not been. It's just not been a good one this year because the stadium's being rebuilt.
There'll probably be more Colorado fans there, but I still wouldn't sleep on Kansas. Oh boy, 1-2 makes a. Oh boy, don't put that out there. Don't put that out there. We got chaos.
Please put that out there.
Kansas. We don't need more chaos.
Please give us something better than Kentucky, Texas.
Oh gosh. And Troy V says, I can't bigger fans down. Flip a coin. Yeah, this is basically what the Kansas, if they're playing their best football, they could beat anybody they're up against within the Big 12. Within the Big 12. I'm not gonna go crazy and say they beat Alabama or nothing. But they could beat anybody in the Big 2. Beat anybody in the Big 12 if they really put their mind to it. But Colorado, they're looking dangerous. Travis Hunter's out to get that Heisman.
Yeah.
Oh. Do you want to pick first, Jackson, or you want to put me on the spot?
No, I'll put you on the spot this time.
Okay. You know what, Jackson? I'm going to regret saying this, but you know something? Give me Kansas for the upset. Make it 2 weeks in a row. The Jayhawks, as much as I don't like to say it, because I want Colorado to win. I really do. To have Coach Prime in the Big 12 title game. But I smell another Kansas upset cooking at home. Give me the Jayhawks 34-31.
There you go. I'm going to go Kansas 35-31.
Oh, boy. We both win upsets. This can't end well. Oh, boy. Jackson, Clemson better watch out. The Citadel, they need to be taken seriously. They can only be contained. As Troy V likes to say, you can only contain them. I mean, Clemson's going to have a tough day at the office, if you ask me. No, I kid. But, oh, yuck. Northwestern at Michigan.
Fox Sports 1.
That
game was like hell.
Oh, gosh. Jackson, you go first. Pick a winner on this one. I'm still flipping the coin in my head.
Gonna win this one 28-17.
You know what? Michigan's at home, and surely goodness they can get enough juice out of their quarterbacks that they could get bowl eligible.
There we go.
19. I'll go 19-13 Michigan. And 1-2 real fast. If SMU, Clemson, Miami all win out, who gets in? It'd be SMU, Miami, because Clemson lost to, of course, my favorite team, Louisville, and Miami beat us. So they would base it off your common opponent, which in that case, we would be the reason Clemson doesn't go to the title game.
Oh, yeah.
But here we go. Here's the game Dave's been salivating at. Wisconsin at Nebraska. Oh, Lord. Oh, boy. Dave, he's been talking about this one all night. He's looking forward to this. Jackson, I'll let you take it away first. Does Nebraska finally get to go bowling?
Oh, man. Nebraska in November is like watching Charlie Brown try to get that football away from Lucy. That's what it feels like when watching Nebraska football in November, particularly this year and last year. And
yeah,
they have not beaten the Wisconsin Badgers since September 29th of 2012 in week 5 of the 2012 season. Ever since then, they have not beaten Wisconsin. They've come close, but no cigar. Quite a few times. Could this season be different?
And 1-2 says, just think of it. Nebraska totally crushed Colorado in week 2. And Hummus Hero says, is there anything more mid than Nebraska Wisconsin? Hummus, in a couple years, that might be what the best the Big Ten has to offer. So get used to it. Oh, my gosh. Could you imagine Nebraska, Wisconsin in the Big Ten title game one year? Oh, Lord. That's how you know the Big Ten's taking a dip.
You go first on this one, Austin.
And Dave Walensky says one team is trying to end a streak of not going to a bowl game, and one is trying to keep it alive. That's true because Wisconsin is 3rd in longest active bowl streak. Is that correct, Jackson?
Yep.
Yes, okay. And real quick, Troy V says, I don't know who's worse, Nebraska or Wisconsin offense. They're both offensive to the eyes, watching them try to move the ball. I'll say this. At least Wisconsin has a decent running game. Nebraska, they're just like, chuck it. Someone's down there.
Oh, man.
Oh. Oh, not the 1-2. We'll get to the story behind that in a second.
We
Oh
will.
my gosh.
It's a very funny one from 2 years ago, but I'm gonna go.
You know what, Jackson? Hold on. I'll pick first because you wanted me to pick first.
That's right. Sorry about that.
I'll go Wisconsin. Nebraska's just destined not to ever go to a bowl game again. They're cursed. Give me Wisconsin 20-17. Go for it now, good buddy.
I'm gonna reluctantly go with Wisconsin in a 21-17 victory.
All right, Jackson.
Oh, there we go.
Since 1-2 brought
42 years ago, just the band was all over the field.
So, Jackson, do you want to tell the backstory, or do you want me to?
Man. So, like, Austin and I did an old show with Jeffrey and Will, and we were trying to figure out the last one of the last games to pick for week 12 of the 2022 season. And we were up late until 3 a.m. debating which is the better game, Liberty, Virginia Tech, or Stanford Cal. Now, Stanford Cal at the time was the 40th anniversary of the 1982 Stanford Cal game, where, for those that look back at it, the band was all over the field, and Cal won that one. And oh my god, it was just so fun. And Jeffrey was like he was the decider of which game was better. He's like, you know what, I'll go with Stanford Cal.
And then what happened? Jackson, Liberty beats Virginia Tech. Out of all things. No, Virginia Tech beat Liberty. Yep. I think, right?
Yeah, Virginia Tech beat Liberty, that's right.
So it's kind of a story, and it's kind of one of them that it's, even though it's kind of sentimental to me, because it's how me and Jackson, I guess you could say, our friendship blossomed to the next level, so to speak. So I don't hold it too much. I look at it as a fond memory, but oh gosh.
I mean, we stayed till 3, 4 a.m. in the morning figuring out which game we were going to pick. Was it Stanford Cal or Liberty, Virginia Tech? I mean, this is something you can tell your grandchildren over. That I can guarantee.
And Troy V says, wasn't that Elway's last game in college?
Mm-hmm. That was John Elway's last game in college football. And unfortunately, he never got to play in a bowl game in his career.
Oh gosh. So here's the thing, Jackson, about this game. In all seriousness, Stanford's coming off a big time win over, of course, my Louisville Cardinals. And Cal, Jackson, they're up and down. You don't know which Cal you're getting each week. Does Stanford have a hangover? I'll let you pick first on this one.
You know, I'm going to go Cal in a 31-20 victory over Stanford. I mean, the band should be all over the field for Cal being bowl eligible. Am I right?
You know what? I'll follow your lead on this one. I'll go Cal 27-20. Here's an interesting Big 12 game. Texas Tech, Oklahoma State. Does Mike Gundy, I guess, get a big time win to salvage some of this season, or is it just it's over?
Oh God, our buddy Cody Stovall has to be upset, man. It's like, good God, I don't think he's too happy. He's just like, I want to get through the season.
I'll go first on this one. I want Oklahoma State to win just so they can have something, because it's been a rough year for them. But Texas Tech also has been so up and down. It's in Stillwater. Is this Gundy's last stand? You know what, Jackson? call me nuts, but I'll pick Oklahoma State 42-40 in overtime.
I'm just gonna flip a coin and go, you know what? I'll go Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State 42-38.
Ooh, we were close. We were close. UCF at West Virginia.
Jogan. Oh, we got a guy named Ro Jogan saying, "I tell you what I'm gonna do." Nice. Got to do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Oh man, that's so cool. He's on your side, man. Nice.
I guess but yeah, trying Rogue Joe. Interesting. Interesting. Rogue Jogan.
He's funny. Oh man, ask Jamie if he can pull that up, man.
Oh God. UCF at West Virginia.
West Virginia.
You know what?
Oh man, it's like
I'll go West Virginia too.
I gotta be honest.
This is like picking between your two ex-girlfriends that you don't want.
Jesus.
But keep coming back.
Oh my God. That's quite a comparison.
Jackson, we don't want to talk about it.
It feels like trying to pit between like a roommate that you didn't want to have or like a sibling you weren't too crazy about. So, or it's just so bad.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, West Virginia, they don't know what they're going to do with Neil Brown, or they know what they're going to do. They're just not making it official yet. That we know. Central Florida has to be feeling disappointed with Malzahn, which I've been telling people. Austin, how long have I told people about Malzahn at Central Florida?
Probably since the start of the year, including last year too. Going on almost 2 years now since we started working together.
He's freaking overrated. He's overrated. He's not going to get him a Big 12 title. He's not going to get them. What the hell? No, I'm not. No, I'm not shaving my head. But thank you for asking.
Okay. I mean, I appreciate. I guess I guess Jackson. He's upset that we went against BYU, but anywho, back to this. Oh my goodness. Oh gosh, no. He said it depends on how tight the girl is still. Oh God. Oh my gosh. And just to think, I was just about ready to say this is a PG show and we just made it rated R. Good going. Man. We're never gonna at this rate, we're never gonna have sponsors on. I mean, hometown pizza and Snickers and
cashiers at Publix. It's always the cashiers at Publix.
Golly. But yeah, this game here, give me West Virginia. Like 1-2 said, they're still trying to make a bowl, even if it doesn't save Neil Brown's job. 34-24 West Virginia.
I'm gonna go 31-20.
This is where Cupcake Week is. Oh no.
Oh yeah.
We got to talk about this.
Oh yes, revenge.
So this is a rematch from last year's game. If we all remember, it was on the CW, the dreaded CW. And we came off that big win against Notre Dame. And the thing was too, it was raining, it was sloppy. It was just an all around not good game. And Pitt was able to get the W at home. So now they're coming to Louisville this time around. It's going to be a 4:00 game. It could be a little wet and rainy. There is expected pop-up showers on Saturday here. Spoiler alert, I'm in Kentucky. So coming off that Stanford loss, I would like to think we're going to come play ticked off and ready to play. But there's also part of me, too, that we just might be moping our heads and being like, oh, we lost to Stanford. But Pitt, Jackson, you want to talk about someone feeling like they got robbed? That was some highway robbery on Saturday. Good buddy.
Yeah.
That Clemson Pitt game, that was some highway robbery. Dude literally got clotheslined, and the refs are like, do. Oh, you want to steal a flag? I was too busy talking to my wife, ordering pizza. I mean, oh my gosh. What do you think on this game, Jackson? Do you think we'll bounce back, or do you think Pitt comes in and plays angry?
I think Louisville gets revenge. Pitt is
So you're picking the Cards. What's your score?
Louisville is gonna win 28-21.
I'm gonna say it's gonna be a tight contested game. I'll go 21-19 Louisville.
Oh, this is gonna
and
be
1-2 asked, did you skip SC? No, SC is if you're talking South Carolina, I don't think we did. And I don't think USC plays at 10:30. We'll get to them in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, go for it, good buddy. Go for
it. Missouri, Mississippi State looks like a sad game, but it feels like Missouri's going 28-24.
Only 7 points? Jesus.
They need Jesus.
Good gosh. From beating Ohio State to only being a 7-point favorite over a dung heap Mississippi State team. Oh gosh. This is where Dave's clever wordplay would come in handy right about now. Saying, is this the best the SEC has to offer? Because golly. Give me Missouri 28-10.
Yeah.
There's Dave. There he is, always coming up clutch.
Uh-huh.
Mississippi State, the Okie Light of the SEC. Well, at least Oklahoma State has Ollie Gordon. What does Mississippi State have?
True.
But maybe there's a better game on the horizon. I hope so. Please tell me there's a better game on the horizon, Jackson. Please tell me.
Maybe the CW game of the 2-pack game?
Oh, a little Cougar on Beaver action. You like it?
Oregon State should have hired Bronco Mendenhall.
I'll say this, Jackson. Oregon State started off the season really strong, but then as of late, they've kind of just taken a dip. Whereas Washington State, they've looked pretty good throughout the year. They lost last week to New Mexico, which was kind of a shocking development. So I kind of thought, okay, New Mexico, they're 4-6. I mean, no, they're 3-6 at the time. I think this is going to get ugly. And Clint Moses, who's a Beaver, says Wazoo wins 51-6. Well, if the Beaver guy's telling you to pick the Cougar, then you know it's bad. I'll go Washington State, even though it's in Reeser. Give me Washington State to win a tight one. 33-29.
I think Oregon State's going to win this one 31-28.
Baylor, Houston. Oh, gosh. Yeah, if you want to skip it, we can. I mean,
yeah, we picked this one. I'm going to go with Baylor 38-24.
Give me Baylor 31-20.
Well, we got some good ones at the 6:30 slot in a little bit. Got Iowa State and Utah. Don't forget, Iowa State not only has a 10-win season still alive, but they're also still alive for Big 12 title hopes. So they're going to need some help from Arizona State and Kansas. But what does it always say, Austin?
Never put yourself in a position that you need someone to lose or win for you.
Yep. Correctamundo.
Jackson, this is going to be a night game at Rice Eccles. I smell upset. I smell upset on the horizon because I'll say this, Jackson. Iowa State, they already lost in two close games, those two games. But I have a feeling Utah has got one more left in them, and they're going to spoil somebody's season. I don't know if it's going to be Iowa State or if it's going to be next weekend, but I have a sneaky suspicion Utah at night is going to spoil Iowa State's Big 12 title hopes on Saturday. Give me Utah for the upset, 20-16.
I think Iowa State is going to win this one in a 31-28 victory.
All right.
Well, we got better games on the horizon, especially ones at Yankee Stadium on NBC between the Army Black Knights and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Let's not forget, Army is one of the 3 unbeaten teams in all college football. And if they win this game, they basically are showing people, hey, we're the group of 5 team you don't need to be forgetting either. Yeah, I know those boys stay, but what about us? We're unbeaten, not them. Notre Dame, they've made a lot of magic since they're lost in Northern Illinois. And we got a lot of people pulling for Army in the chat, like 1, 2, and Clint Moses pulling for Army. I know I'll be pulling for Army. Because like on the one hand, where it's like I got some relatives that were in the Army, and on the other hand, I was raised Catholic, so it's like, I mean, kind of torn on who to pull for, but I do love what both teams have brought throughout the 2024 season. How are you feeling about this one, Austin?
It's kind of cool that we're going to get to see a football game played at Yankee Stadium. That's going to be a cool experience. I'll definitely be watching. But Jackson, as we know, as you said, Army has got so much to play for because not only are they going to be playing for the AAC against Tulane, but if they beat Notre Dame, they could be the Group of 5 representative. They could knock Boise State, or Group of 4, excuse me, be politically correct. They could knock Boise State out of their spot. And a win over Notre Dame would make a statement. And Jackson, just think about this. If Notre Dame loses that opens up another spot for somebody to take.
Mm-hmm.
So things could get interesting.
Oh yeah.
You know, I'm with everyone else. I want to see an Army win. Nothing against Notre Dame and their fans, but it would be nice to see an armed forces team. It forced the committee's hand to put them in the playoffs. Something that's never been done before. Something that would be pretty cool to see. But even Vegas is telling us this could get ugly because Notre Dame is a double-digit favorite.
Yep.
So that being said, unfortunately, against my heart, Jackson, I'm gonna have to go Notre Dame. I'm gonna go Notre Dame 24-13.
I think Notre Dame is going to win this one 31-28 against Army.
Oh, hurts my heart. Because I really want to see Army make a playoff push, but I think Notre Dame's too good. Well, Jackson.
What if we saw Army
talk
and
about-
Boise State in the playoffs? Think about that for a moment.
You think that can actually happen? 2 group of 4 teams make it?
I mean, Boise State's making Oregon look good with their winning streak. And if Army does beat Notre Dame on Saturday at Yankee Stadium and they win the AAC title game and they beat Navy, they're really good to go.
Oh. And 1-2 says Notre Dame will choke. Don't believe me, just watch. I know 1-2, you're in a lot of people's boats because a lot of people are like, just wait. The real Notre Dame's gonna show up here soon. You just wait. Well, there's 2 weeks left, so but enough about Notre Dame. Let's talk about your game, Jackson.
There we
gave me
go.
my moment.
The
Take it
Alabama
away.
Crimson Tide and the Oklahoma Sooners. You know, there's quite a great series history with this game. I mean, it's not been a huge series, but it's been a short series, but great history in this one. I mean, like 2002, 2003, we got beat by the Sooners. 2014, we got smacked around the Sugar Bowl because we were still mad about the kick sits, unfortunately. But we got revenge against Oklahoma in the Capital One Orange Bowl in 2018. But, you know, at the end of the 1962 season, we played the Oklahoma Sooners on New Year's Day of 1963, where we shut them out right in front of President John F. Kennedy. That was a huge one right there. We basically showed the Boomer Sooners thing or two. And in 1970, both teams had a sloppy season and ended up in a 24-24 tie. And in that game, that was where Alabama was wearing white helmets. I mean, it was kind of rare, but you saw like Bama wearing white helmets until the 1960 Bluebonnet Bowl. That's where you saw Alabama started wearing those iconic red helmets that you see today. Was in the 1960 Bluebonnet Bowl, which, I mean, again, I'll go over more on a history next time we see Alabama play Texas. But oh man, that's funny. We don't have the Oklahoma Stagecoach crashing at halftime show, but next time we'll make sure to put it on the StreamYard.
We'll be more prepared next time.
Oh yeah.
I'll say this, Jack.
But yeah, you do have a good point, 1-2. It's kind of felt like that for the Sooners. They've been horrible this year. Now that's
and Jackson. I know we don't. Yes, And Jackson, I know we normally do this at the end, but why not go on and promote it? Because you know what, we're on the topic of it. Because Jackson, I'm sure the people out there would love to know, but you had some special guests on for this game this past weekend, this past Monday, and they had some interesting thoughts. Take it away, promote away.
I had on John Hoover, the publisher of Sooners on SI, the co-publisher of OU Insider Rivals, Parker Thune, the host of the PG show, Preston Gant, and the co-host of Unfair Sports, Eric Cooper, joining Johnny Burtz and I discussing the preview and prediction of the Alabama-Oklahoma matchup. We even discussed a little bit about the series history of this matchup. And I can tell you right now, it was a fun discussion talking about this game with those guys. And I can tell you right now, it was a fun ride, especially discussing history with gentlemen with a wealth of college football knowledge.
Yes. And here's the thing about this game, Jackson, real quick. If Oklahoma, if they just had a decent quarterback play, I could see this being a ball game. But they're another team that's just got so unlucky. Their top 5 wide receivers getting hurt and being unhealthy. They thought it was Jackson Arnold. They were like, and then they went to Michael Hawkins. They've just been a mess. And Alabama's destiny's right in front of them. Just went out. Like the committee's already made it clear, you win out, Bama, you've got a spot. No matter what happens championship weekend. So, unfortunately, Jackson, I think the Sooners defense will keep it competitive. But Alabama will pull away late. 31-15.
Oh, yeah. And as far as I recall, my prediction of this game, I had Alabama winning 31-14. I believe that was 31-14. That was my score for this game.
Jackson, we were 1 point off from one another. I had 15 for Oklahoma. Me and you were on the same wavelength there.
Yep. 1-2 says 3-loss Alabama in playoff. I would not
Probably
be shocked if that happens. I mean, do I think as an Alabama fan, I want Alabama to get in. But as a lover of college football, do I think a 3-loss Bama should get in? No.
If Bama makes the SEC title game, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. Win, lose, or draw, they're in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
They've made it clear.
Like the broadcasters of Alabama Mercer that were calling it on SEC Network, they were crying about how, teams could be getting left out if they're the loser of the SEC title game. It's like no team that's in the SEC title game should be getting left out. It's like, Jesus, they're talking about that. Like, I know that no one's watching Bama Mercer, but good God, do you have to make like your agenda that obvious? Oh my God.
They're just like, we're getting paid. We need to promote quick, fast, in a hurry. But
like, Jesus,
I tell you what, Jackson. Speaking of the SEC, Jackson, this next game, Texas A&M and Auburn. Why do I get a pit in my stomach thinking about this? Something tells me, is Auburn really going to spoil Texas A&M next weekend? Oh my gosh, that would be so Auburn.
Oh my God.
College game day's waiting in the wing too. They're like, come on, Texas A&M, take care of business so we could go to Texas A&M. And then Auburn spoils it all, and they have to go. Then they'll have to go to Alabama, Auburn. I don't know where they would go after A&M, Texas if A&M loses, because they're not going to go to Ohio State, Michigan, not that dung heap, not this year. Dave Valencia says trap game for A&M. That's what I'm saying. I got a weird feeling, like I'm literally like I just got like a weird feeling, like Auburn like plans on spoiling somebody's season. I don't know if it's Bama's or A&M's. I just feel it.
Somebody's getting spoiled by Auburn.
Well, Jackson, does Texas A&M have a look ahead?
No.
So who are you going with?
I'm going to go
your
with
answer said
Texas
it.
A&M in a 34-24 victory.
I'm going to go 23-20 Texas A&M. I think it's going to be a field goal win. And Auburn, once again, is going to be like, oh, we were so close. We were so close. Oh, hush. You always get so close.
But here's someone.
I never thought, Jackson, I'd be.
Oh, man.
Go ahead.
Oh, man. Here's someone who's so close. You're saying, Austin.
Yeah, Jackson. I was just going to say, I never thought Vanderbilt LSU would be a good primetime game, but here we are in 2024.
It's better than Kentucky, Texas. I mean, Kentucky, Texas should be relegated to the SEC network.
Why is Vandy LSU not on at 3:30? And like put Texas, Kentucky on at night. Put people to sleep.
It's a good way to do it. I mean, you want your kids to go to sleep, have them watch Texas, Kentucky, not Vanderbilt LSU. Oh man.
Ooh, not to get back on the Auburn train, but 1-2 has some inside info. Auburn tried to buy out Freeze, aka Fire, but he fought.
Where did you get the inside info from? That's what I'm curious about.
Jackson, if this is true, what do you think about that? If this is true, if he's being truthful and the legit source, which I'm not going to question it, but what do you think, Jackson, about that? If it's legit?
Oh, it wouldn't surprise me if they try biting them off with a hooker or something like that. But
oh gosh, I think it's interesting.
Oh wow.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's probably legit then. Because, 1-2 giving us the inside scoop. Cool. Right. Jackson, that must mean he really likes us. We're doing something right here. But yeah, back to Vandy LSU. And Clint Moses is a Vandy. LSU? Clint Moses is a Vandy pimp, apparently. Well, that's not the worst thing you could be.
You could LSU in the back room.
Oh my gosh. Oh, Jackson, LSU's just falling apart. They lost to Texas A&M, like you said. Then they went on a bye. And then you guys ran them over. Like, I don't know who broke LSU more, you or A&M.
What LSU has is failure to communicate.
Now, Jackson, I know Diego Pavia. You know, a lot of people think
Diego, go.
Go, Diego, go. A lot of people think he's the reason for Vanderbilt's success. And it's hard to argue. But it's LSU at night. Is Vandy on that level yet?
Yeah.
Really? You think they're ready for this?
Oh yeah.
You think Vandy can do it? Okay. I know they beat Alabama, but are they ready to play LSU at night? Because that's just different.
They kept it close with Texas.
It's true. It's true. I still think, even though 1-2 says Brian Kelly's a bad coach, LSU has talent to win. I'm going to begrudgingly, but I'm going to pick LSU. I think, like he said, too much talent. For goodness sakes, you're at night. It's at home. Beat Vanderbilt. I'm going to go 27-20 LSU.
Yep. I'm going to go Vanderbilt 31-24.
Oh, Lord. Jackson with the spicy pick tonight. Okay. I respect it.
Go back to his old stomping grounds. Why not? Why not? Oh, there we go. We got Virginia Tech Duke. Brent Pry, baby.
Give me Duke. Duke's at home. Give me Duke 24-21 Duke.
There you go. Dukies. We're going to go with the Dukies with a...
The Dukies.
Oh, yeah. We're going with them 28-21. Then we got K-State going against Cincinnati. Cincinnati's mediocre. They're going to get tired of Satterfield eventually.
Yeah, Kansas State bounces back after being embarrassed. Unfortunately, Cincinnati's going to get the rough end of this. Pause. 38-21.
Kansas State. Kansas State's going to win 35-17.
Here we go. The Victory Bell.
2024 edition of the Victory Bowl between USC and UCLA, and they're fighting for bowl eligibility.
And Jackson, it's on a special 10:30 p.m. Eastern, 9:30 Central on NBC. I guess NBC's simping out the late night now.
Oh yeah, because I mean they're like, Saturday Night Live sucks. Why don't we give the people something really good to watch? USC, UCLA.
Yes, they're like, you've had enough time, Jimmy Kimmel. Shoot. Let's give them the victory bowl here. Shoot.
Oh, I think like Jimmy Fallon's on NBC. Oh well. Who cares about those guys? Unless they have us on. Who cares about them?
So we've got two people saying UCLA. USC, here's the thing. USC needs to win this game. So does UCLA. This is it, Jackson. Game is for all the marbles. You win, you're bowl eligible. You lose, you're not going to be bowl eligible for the year. Well, USC could still be. But UCLA, they're on their last leg, so to speak. You know what? Give me USC. They're at home. I think they'll find a way. In a 27-21 victory.
I'm gonna go with USC with a... Nah, scratch that. I'm going UCLA. They're going to beat USC 20.
We split.
They're going to beat USC 28-24. What in the hell is going on with Trojan country, man? This is bad.
I think they've lost it. Is what has happened. Oh my
They're
gosh!
just like Ren on Ren and Stimpy having the little moment of, I was nice today. I had to be nice to those kids. The stupid idiot. They all love him. They won't come
Oh
off.
my god!
Well, I mean, it
Well,
is
I'll
1
say this,
a.m.,
Jackson.
so we might as well make a dark joke.
Oh Lord, we're never getting a sponsor here. And the only thing that'll sponsor us is Publix.
I don't know. There's always
Oh my
somebody.
gosh. Yeah, we know Snickers ain't gonna be a sponsor.
Well, I can't eat Snickers anyhow.
And
I
one
mean, and plus, that stuff's not good for your body.
USC and UCLA blew up the Pac-12 to go to be mid in the Big Ten. That's so
Nope.
true. They're like, there's better pasture over here. We'll be able to compete more NIL. Oh yeah, 6-6 every year. USC 6-6 every year. Maybe we'll overachieve and go 8-4.
Oh my god, that's just so funny.
We'll overachieve and go 8-4 when we beat a mediocre Iowa team.
Oh my god! Like if you're bragging about beating Iowa, if you're USC, that's bad. No offense to Iowa, but if you're USC, that's not what you should be bragging about.
Oh my gosh. But you know what we can brag about, Jackson? You
What's
know,
that?
it may not be this week's schedule. It may not be this week's schedule. You know, there were some good games on there. Some good games. Very underrated. But most of the time it's cupcakes, yawn. But you know what we can brag about? We can brag about the magic you are bringing on the Alabama, the voice of college football. I mean, Jackson, like the magic that you're bringing is fantastic. I feel reinvigorated when I watch this show. It brings new life. Tell the people why it has magic.
Well, we've had like a lot of people come on talking about each of their opponents. Unfortunately, we didn't have someone talking about Vanderbilt, but I mean, that's okay. I mean, we still had a great show nonetheless. It was a fun one. And, even when Alabama loses, we still make sure to have a fun show all the same, because you see me, Johnny Burks, and you see our good buddy Jeffrey from Only Talk Sports talking about the Alabama Crimson Tide, not only on the Alabama Call-In show on Thursday nights with yours truly, but you also see him on some of the post-game shows from time to time. And let me tell you something, he is a genius. So is Johnny Burch. Johnny Burch is a genius in all of college football. And I can tell you right now, he is someone that should totally get some more social media accounts because the world is missing out on the takes of Johnny Burts. He's got some great takes for college football. And finally,
Yes.
you got me bringing in all kinds of people. We don't care who you are. We don't care who you pull for. We want you to come on in and like, comment, subscribe to Alabama with the Voice College Football. Click on that notification bell so you don't miss another video. Let's get the 2,500 subs. Let's get the 3,000 subs before Texas at the Voice College Football does. We have got to show Texas who is really boss. We're the boss of Texas. But you can also check out the 7th edition on Thursday night of the call-in show where Jeffrey and I take your calls, where we take your calls. We don't care that you're an Alabama fan, Auburn fan, Tennessee fan, whatever. We don't care who you pull for. We just want you to come on in and talk about Alabama football. And I've got some breaking news involving who's going to be on the 14th edition of Crimson Tide Live for Monday afternoon next week. And I can tell you right now, You've definitely seen these people on The Voice College Football and on the Paul Feinbaum Show. So I'm going to go ahead and put in the link to get you guessing real quick. Because I'm going to tell you,
Yeah,
you're gonna love these people that I have on.
yes, Jackson. You have to keep them wondering. Like, we can't spoil it all. It's like a TV show, Jackson. You have to keep them wanting more. They can't just be like, "Oh, we saw the ending." That's just. But Jackson, I tell you what, too. If people really want to wonder where you have time to make magic there, they're really going to love the magic you're bringing on your personal channel, because it's more than just Alabama. You've got LSU people, you've got Ole Miss people, you've got
NFL.
semi-retired. Yeah. Take it away, good buddy. Go for it.
I've got
Knock
all
yourself
kinds
out.
of people coming on the Jacksonian, and I am planning on expanding on the guest situation where it's not just college football people, not just NFL people, but you should see more MLB people, and you'll see more of college basketball people and more of NBA people, and not just sports people, but you will soon see non-sports people come on the Jacksonian discussing their life experiences and much, much more, because the Jacksonian is a show where I'm just the host of it. The guest and the chat and the comment session are the stars of that show. I'm just the guy hosting, and I do my best to keep up with everything around me as much as possible. In 2030, I will have Gopher people. Well, I mean, I'm thinking more like 2024, 2025. There's plenty of Gopher people for sure. Keep guessing, Clint, but you're welcome to come on in on the chat or call in on the Alabama Call-In Show for the 7th edition, Thursday night, 9 p.m. Central Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, to hear who the guest will be for the 14th edition of Crimson Tide Live, which I will reveal at the beginning of the show after I tell everybody the benefits of of becoming a member of Alabama with the Voice College Football.
Spoiler alert, it's Derrick Henry. There you go. Now shoot.
No.
If it was Derrick Henry, I would be calling in. I would be like taking over the show. I'd be like, shoot, Jackson, shoot. Be like, let me talk to Derrick Henry. You had your moment. Shoot. I'm going to ask him why Jerry Jones didn't sign him in the offseason. Shoot. No, I wouldn't do that to Jackson. I would not do that to him.
Nah.
But I would ask him what the deal is with Jerry Jones, though, because that's ridiculous. But go ahead. Go ahead, good buddy. Promote your social media. We went off topic.
Well, of course, you can. And for more updates on my personal channel and on Alabama with the Voice College Football and much more on what I'm doing, check me out on JacksonVOCFB on @/Twitter. You can check me out on Instagram and Threads at JacksonJohnson543908, where I make sure to keep running my mouth about what's going on here and there in college football and NFL and everything else. And of course, you hear more of my updates on Alabama with the Voice College Football and on the Jacksonian. Stay tuned. You won't want to miss it. Oh, and by the way, Dave Valinsky, I believe 2032 and 2033 we're playing Minnesota. But I am excited about that. That'll be the first time since the 2004 Music City Bowl on ESPN. And Austin, what magic have you got going on YouTube and on Twitter /X, or as our buddy John Giannimo calls it, Twits.
Twits. There we go. So you can find me here on Sports Talk with Austin 2002, as I'm sure many of you all know, and I appreciate it. And of course, have final whistle on Saturday with Jackson. Of course, we'll be here Saturday night. Hopefully. God forbid one of us, has something happen. You never know. But we're not even gonna put that voodoo out in the world. We're gonna be here Saturday night, win, lose, or draw. And also we'll announce Saturday night. So we got a special announcement of our own Saturday night. It's a good announcement because, like I said, you're gonna see mine and Jackson's face until the end here. We're not going away anytime soon. So this announcement, let's just say it'll shake up your week a little bit, but it can't be nothing we won't prepare you for Saturday night. Me and Jackson, we're gonna be here until a national champion's crown, whether you like it or not. We're gonna be here, so get used to us. Because me and Jackson, we are the duo. We're like Batman and Robin, and Dave Valinsky and Clint. We're the Justice League, all of us. You guys are all part of the Justice League with us. Without you, there is no Batman and Robin here. So I thank you, and I appreciate you all. And and y'all have been wonderful. I'll go for it.
One more question before I go. Who would be like Batman and Bruce Wayne, like talking to themselves on the phone, where it's just like, "Hey, Batman, what's up?" Or it's like, "Oh, nothing much. This is Bruce Wayne here. We need you to
Jackson.
send a dummy package. A dummy package? Yes, we have to stop Mr. Freeze." Well, I mean, that's the only choice we've got. It's like, well, we will get right on that, Mr. Wayne. Thank you for keeping the Freeze safe. Oh, I wonder what. Oh man, these two gentlemen are so sophisticated.
I'll say this, Jackson, and I don't want this question to be passed on, so to speak. So let's answer it, since 1-2, and all of you have been great supporters, like you all always are. Y'all bring it. You all make this show. Like, we're just up here talking. But 1-2 says, "What's the game of the week?" And he said BYU Arizona State.
I think.
Ooh, okay. Go for it, Jackson.
I was thinking like Indiana, Ohio State, because everybody's been talking about it. But I like that BYU Arizona State. I mean, like, nobody looked at it as a good game in the preseason, but now it's a really good one. I mean, it makes a difference on who's getting the Big 12 title and who's not. And I'll tell you one thing, it's definitely a voice of college football top 5 game for sure. Because the voice of college football watches all kinds of college football. They don't care who it is.
I'll say this, Jackson. I'll say Notre Dame Army, just to kind of go off the rail kind of a little bit. Like, Notre Dame Army, I think that besides Indiana, Ohio State, that'll probably have the second biggest impact, probably. And then Arizona State, BYU. Those would probably be my two. So we'll see. And Dave Linsky says, just don't check them out in the bathroom or when he's in the shower. Oh, good Lord, Dave. Why put that voodoo out here? Like, what the? This isn't I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Watching us while they're in the bathroom? Like, I wouldn't.
Oh, gosh. Whatever. Oh, good grief. Well,
can we go back
to sleep tonight knowing?
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to sleep tonight, Jackson, knowing someone's watching us talk college football while they're in the shower getting clean.
The internet, it's always full of those weird dudes.
Oh gosh, Jackson, for our sake, I hope it's ladies. Oh,
the weird ladies, the weird old ladies with 55 cats in their house.
Oh God! But anywho, before we get canceled and don't get any sponsorships. Well, I'm just
Actually, Will and D and I talk college hoops, but we can definitely bring Austin in on the fold anytime he wants, man. It's like he came on in as a substitute last year a couple times for Will.
yeah, and I'll probably be talking college hoops. Once we get more back into it. Louisville. Hopefully, we become relevant again. I'll be making some videos on that. Picking out some of the games of the weeks throughout the week. So don't worry, you're going to get college hoops on both ends. Jackson with Will, and then me with Jeffrey, possibly Jackson. I mean, it'll be a good time either way. But right now, business is being handled. College football is at the forefront, so we're going to focus on that for the time being. But don't you worry, we'll get our college hoops in there too. Even if. But Jackson, this has been a fun stream. It's always fun. Good luck to everybody's team this weekend. Roll Tide, go Cards. Who's your daddy? I don't know what Ohio State's battle cry is. USC
Go
fight
Bucks.
on, all that good stuff.
Go Bucks.
Go
Go
Bucks.
Blue,
Okay, thank you.
Roll Tide. Go Cards. Go Cougs. Go Sun Devils.
Go Dogs.
Stay safe. Stay warm. Y'all have a wonderful night. Don't go outside at all. It's cold out. Have fun, everybody. Like, comment, subscribe, click on
Go
that
Cards.
notification so you never miss another video whatsoever. Stay tuned.
Go Cards. See you